say hello, tell me what your name is. We have the chat over here. It's a little bit more complicated from a phone than it is from a laptop, but you can always just text me and we can just comment where we are attending from, so I know who I'm speaking to. If we can make it, I can't see it, so let's make sure that everyone gets to see the comment in the chat so you can ask me questions. So Charlotte and Earl is my team behind the scenes, making sure that we have a smooth webinar and everything is going fine. I just can't see people messages in the chat, so let's make sure that everyone has an option. Oh, there you go, Lilia, Germany, perfect. Okay, it's working. Tulum, Sweden. Oh my goodness, 500 people already from all around the world. Vienna, fuck yeah. Well, congratulations. Honestly, we are constantly, as women, the message is you are as attractive depending on how young you look, right? And it breaks my heart, right? Because I feel like there is an expiry date on us and our beauty, so to say, and we're, as long as we look young, it's all good. And the moment we see first signs of aging, that's not so good anymore. And I have to say, in my early 30s, I started with Botox. I started with like trying to stop the age, and now I kind of work with it. And I don't even do Botox anymore, which is, I don't even understand how my body was able to reverse and not having to do Botox. Nothing against it, by the way. More, if that's what you want, we discuss Botox in the course, just like what are the benefits, disadvantages, and whatnot. We're not just like, oh, we shouldn't be talking about it. We should be fucking talking about everything with Dr. Amy. But yeah, it's super important. And I think Norway, Spain, fuck yeah. Denmark, super excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining. I have a short presentation for you. As you know, every time we run a challenge, we always do a 1 hour summary of what we teach to answer your questions. And this is our way of giving back to our community, just so we feel like, okay, cool. It's always there. It's always like the beginning. If you are curious, if you're just at the beginning of your biohacking journey, great. This is going to be enough for you to just spark your interest. And if you are hungry for more, we're here every step of the way. If you want to learn more, please do, because biohacking is a rabbit hole, and once you start, you can never go back, so to say. I'm pretty sure it's about something else, not biohacking, but I'm gonna adopt this saying for now. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen with you and share the presentation. If you have any questions, please, I'm gonna pull up the chat on the side so I can see it. That means that you see the screen, you see me. Okay, perfect. So let's do it. And yep, awesome. This is my promise to you, that I'll share with you some of the ways that you can naturally reverse your biological age, reverse your wrinkles, and combat all signs of premature aging, so to say. Let's just say this: how many of you had an idea or actually realized that you can reverse your biological age, and that in a way your chronological age, right, this is the age that you were born, can be reversed biologically? Did you know that? Oh, Zara, you're a pro, so you already knew that. But when I first got into biohacking, I had no idea. I thought I was like, oh, I'm 36. That means I'm 36. But then there are different ways about how you can test your age. It turns out that you can be 36 chronologically and 21 biologically. That would be great. So for example, for me, it's very different. I'm metabolically, this is another age, 20, biologically 30, and then chronologically 36. So you can slowly but surely reverse that. And this is what I just want to kind of explain to you in a very short detail. This is what the webinar is for, for noticing for signs of wrinkles and fine lines and saggy skin and want to reverse them. And, maybe not necessarily you want to start with Botox. Maybe you want to say, maybe there's something natural there that I can do. Someone says I'm 51, but my mood is like I'm at 20. Fuck it, that's the attitude. People think that, being young is being silly and reckless and whatnot. But in reality, when we say we want to reverse biological age, it's basically we want to buy ourselves the energy, the flexibility, the vitality to do things we want to do, right? So especially for us women, I don't know how many of you, if you can raise your hand or just say yes in the comments, did you feel like ever since you were like 21 that the quote unquote clock is ticking and it's like, oh, I don't really have that much time to have kids because I should be a young mom, and maybe this is on last year and I should find a husband, right? So like yes, yeah, I fucking felt that right away at my 20. I was like, okay, maybe I have like 3 or 4 or 5 years maximum, and then I should be a mom, because then I'll be an old mom and I don't want to have fertility issues. 24 for somebody, that was it. And it was just like never really there for my youth, because I was already worried that I don't have that much time of it. Versus like when I see it at my male friends or my partner, like Jacob, that's not the case, right? He feels like he can do whatever the hell he wants, until he's healthy and he can move, right? And for us women, so guys, it's super hot. I just arrived in Poland, and the layer of hair, I'm like 32 degrees. Does anyone in Europe experience this massive heat wave? Yeah, so I basically was like, honestly, I got really pissed with this whole age pressure, because I was like, I don't want to live in that pressure. But I also understand, yes, we perhaps are, we have a certain time, the doctor would say you have until you're 35, and there's nothing you can do about your fertility because you're born with all of your eggs. I heard that from many, many doctors. It's actually not true. And we have doctors in my challenge that say something completely different. And I was like, wait, so I can multiply the eggs. It doesn't mean that the eggs I was born with, I can still make more. And apparently, yes, apparently you can raise the count of your eggs. So a lot of things that like I've learned through biohacking that like kind of set me free to live my life out of geriatric pregnancy at 35. Exactly. So I'm 36 now. If I was to get pregnant, I would be considered geriatric pregnancy, right? And it's like just living with that energy of like you're getting old, like this is it, being an old mom, getting married late. And I just said, fuck it. I was like, what does science say? So there are certain ways that we can manage it through our diet, our lifestyle, supplements, procedures. And yeah, I also, really important point, I think aging is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, there will be available later. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Imagine if someone says, hey, you're getting old, you're getting old, you're getting old. You will slowly behave that way. Great example is my mom. My mom is 65. To me, 65 is young. I'm planning on doing shit with 65. And my mom's like, oh, I'm 65. I can't be riding a bike. That's already I'm too old for that. I'm like, says who? So we make our lives smaller and smaller. You might be thinking, yes, play is super important, but for my mom, is her shackles. What are your shackles? What are the things that you think that you should be doing, or you're not pushing yourself hard enough because you think, oh, I'm 35 or I'm 40 or I'm 55? What are those shackles that you've created for yourself, that because you the prison you created for yourself? And I'm very, very curious to hear that. This is my mission. Someone would never thought I would ever do anything health related, and look at me now. And so went from vegan and to and with terrible skin and whatnot, and just looking so much older a few years ago than I do right now. And it's from a couple of months ago, and I just can't believe that this is the same person, right? And I'm doing less to my face than I was back in the day. That's the crazy part. And first of all, I have so much more energy and so much more, even when I think to my early 20s, I am just way, way better. Yeah, someone said I'm 28 and I should be married by now. And this is like, yeah, it's a big mind fuck, and kind of like breaking free. I think this anti-aging challenge isn't my typical like, hey, this is how you get Botox. We do a lot of homework. We do hypnotherapy. We do a lot of journaling prompts. I think there are 100 exercises as a homework that help you kind of like untangle that mind fuck that aging is and how we approach to it. Yes, I do have recommendations in the course for biological age. So big pharma is making us sick, and the funny thing is, from one hand, we have this pressure to look younger, but from the other, everything in our environment is making us sick. So, you know, we need age prematurely, need coffee to get through the day. And the average woman in the US will spend 200 to 300,000 on face product in her lifetime. Isn't that fucking crazy? That's a lot of money between you and I to spend. And this is an average woman, right? So an average man, $5,000. So we already could have bought ourselves a house or a car. You are one challenge away to basically understand what are you putting on your face and into your body that is making you sick, right? And it's like, I think I don't want to make up a stat, but I would be very curious to like share it with you. It's about that by the time that throughout one day, we put at least 180 chemicals every day through our creams, lotions, toothpaste, hair products and whatnot. So this is the bullshit advice that's out there. I'm going to skip that one, but this is a little bit of a sarcastic guide of how to accelerate your wrinkles and look 10 years older. Starter pack, go on a low-fat diet, avoid cholesterol, do cardio, have a smoothie for breakfast, snack and have 5 meals a day, sleep when you're dead, and numb your emotions with alcohol, which is literally my 20s. I basically was following the mainstream advice, right? And so I thought I was doing everything right, yet my skin was just aging. It's so funny. I was getting my makeup done today by a makeup artist. And she said, Aggie, I've been doing makeup for 10 years. She's been doing my makeup for like at least 5. And she said, I haven't seen anyone's skin so plump and so beautiful, apart from my one client who's 20, and it's you. And you're 36. She's like, I'm blown away. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm like, but it's really, really true. Someone says, I can't get into a lot of detail about cholesterol and stuff because I don't want to bore you without being too medical. I just warn you how to get not to conspiracy theorists on this. There are more and more studies proving that high cholesterol isn't linked to heart disease, and it's actually not relevant to a lot of things. Yet the American Heart Association is telling you otherwise, that saturated fats are the culprit, and you shouldn't be eating saturated fats and cholesterol because it's going to cause heart disease. Actually, there was no correlation. So type in PubMed. PubMed is the official website, medical website, where you have all the independent research, and type in saturated fat and see what an independent medical website says about it. Just don't have to trust me. Type it in, and they would tell you that there is no correlation. You can have as much saturated fat as you want, even though the government tells you otherwise. Why? Well, that's another story. PubMed, it's the official website where every time you do a study about anything as a company, it has to be peer reviewed. So it has to be read and okayed by other medical professionals. And for that to do it, it has to be public. And this is a website where every single research out there is posted. So they know that it's bullshit, but yet if you Google, it would tell you that, saturated fats are bad and you should have Crisco and whatnot, which is not true. Thank you, Zora, for posting. Type in saturated fat and see what happens. You don't have to, again, trust me, trust PubMed. This is me, and I would have oatmeal healthy smoothie for breakfast, 5 meals a day, working out on the same intensity every day, no matter what part of my cycle it was. I was counting calorie, going things low fat, vegan, gluten-free, and, obviously oat milk, which is not great for you, sadly. And this is honestly how to reduce your wrinkles and look 10 years younger. Started back, big secret, jokes aside, but this is not sarcastic. We want to make sure that your diet is high in saturated fat, and good cholesterol, produces bile, supports hormones and fertility. I don't have to tell you that it's not about eating 2000 calories a day. It really is about your hormone and your gut and everything, right? Like, how come I can eat so much and someone else can't because they're putting on weight? Because my hormones are healthy, my glucose is healthy, right? And my gut is healthy. If these three things aren't healthy, you're not going to have energy to work out. You're not going to have energy to eat healthy and the need, because, if you have candida in your gut, you crave sugar, and your hormones will be off. When your hormones are off, you're going to be putting on weight. When your glucose is high and insulin, you're going to have wrinkles. You will age much, much, much faster. And one thing I didn't get to look up properly because I wanted to make sure that the photos are real, but I've seen a photo of twins, one with diabetes and the other one isn't. And how insulin ages us is actually incredible. It adds at least a decade to how we look like. So really, really important for us is to make sure that our glucose is low. That would be the number one thing when it comes to our aging. It's a process called glycation. We'll talk about in a second. We want to make sure that food is high in vitamin A and E for epidermis and dermis. The best source of vitamin A, please tell me you know it by now. Anyone? Liver, beef liver. And I know that liver sucks, so I have literally spent the last 2 months researching for Biohacking Bestie to have liver in a capsule, because I was like, I want more women to eat liver. It's our magic, it's great for fertility, it's great for aging, it's great for everything. Do the right kind of workout. So we don't want to do a prolonged workout because it's a prolonged stress that causes aging. So we want to do a sit workout, HIIT workout, re-HIIT, and strength training. And I'll explain in a second why. You need to fast. Fasting is like just basically, wow, someone said you can chop liver up into tiny pieces, freeze it, and eat it with maple syrup. I hope if there's a recipe without sugar, it would be great, because maple syrup gives you a glucose spike that ages you. It's kind of like, it's like having apple cider vinegar in a gummy. It's yes. Next, fasting. Fasting is super, super important. It really, if you fast properly according to your cycle, it's the most magical thing. Detoxifies your body. And obviously toxins age you as well. Like I said, so many chemicals that we have, we can naturally get rid of them through detoxing, dry brushing, cook oil pulling, whatnot, but also fasting. We're gonna have to avoid ages, glycation, and glucose spikes. Are the three things that would put the most strain on our looks, right? Get at least 2 hours of deep sleep and REM sleep. Super important. It's not about spending 8 hours in bed. It's about getting quality sleep, right? It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Learn to process emotions and have a purpose. This might be like, okay, whatever, but this is the last two no one ever really talks about. It's like this thing that's like, yeah, whatever, kids are my purpose or whatever. No, people that don't have purpose die early, they die prematurely, and they don't have the life force. So when I say that aging is a self-fulfilling prophecy, is because what's the difference between one person who's 35 and the other person that's 35? It's that spark. And that spark is the thing that people don't really know what to call. If you ever have seen someone passed away, or someone who close to you that was dead, and you looked at them and you know that the person is no longer there, right? The soul is gone, the life force is gone. And that's the thing. You see sometimes people that are 35 and their life force is tiny, right? It's diminished and the light is barely there. So they will appear much older, much heavier, much more serious and somber. And so I think the best hack is to really work on replenish your life force energy, right? And just understanding that if I can just fill my own cup the right way, then how to find a purpose and how to process emotions, it's exactly down my alley because I really love it. Then you realize that it's you seem so much younger. When people meet me in person, they can't believe that I'm like 7 years older than Jacob, or they can't believe that I'm like 35. And not necessarily through Instagram, because, you know, everyone can look good on camera, but just in person. And why do they feel that way? Because they can see that I take care of my life force energy. Oh, Zara, I can vouch for that. But it's different. It's like I'm present, and that's really, really powerful, right? And at the end of the day, do we really care about looking hot for people that we don't give a shit about? Maybe, but that's not the point. It's an empty feeling of satisfaction. Might feel good for a second to look good on Instagram, might feel good, whatever. But the true core of why we don't want to age is like, so we have energy to spend time with the people we love and have that spark, that it factor, right? That's like, and that's yeah, I think you really need to have a purpose, and that purpose has to be so much bigger than you. And people that are religious, people that have a mission, and finding that mission for yourself, whatever it might be, you know, whether it's sharing the biohacking with 5 other people, whether it's making sure that your children grow up as good people, making sure that whatever spikes your joy sees the light of day, right? So that, if there's one takeaway from this webinar, is like, what the fuck is my purpose? What is my purpose? Because that purpose will keep you awake, alive, and present. And we have a beautiful interview in the course. But yes, it's a really, really big one. You know, glucose goddess Jessie, you know, we talk a lot about glycation and glucose spikes and eating in the right order and blah, 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 blah. That's all in the course. That's really, really important when it comes to lowering your glucose. And this is why, because when we eat in the right order, and you can screenshot it, obviously, veggies first, protein, and then fats, and last starches, we get less of a glucose spike. The less of a glucose spike, less glycation. Glycation ages us and fucks up our hormones. And less glucose spikes also means less cravings for more shit, right? So that's really, really important. So what happens during a glucose or a fructose spike? We put on fat, just because there's nowhere to put things in, extra glycogen. Our hunger hormones get dysregulated. Our organs and skin age because of glycation. We'll explain that in a second. We inch closer to type 2 diabetes. Inflammation goes up. And inflammation, there's a whole theory that aging is a disease. Dr. David Sinclair says that because it applies to more than 50% of the population, it can be diagnosed as a disease, which is really, really interesting. But he says that we don't have to age. And it's a way of just inflammation. So, you know, when you're inflamed, is inflammation a clear term, or do you want me to explain it? It's like when you twist your ankle and get swollen, that's inflamed, right? Or like when you stab your nail and it's like inflamed and sore. When your body's inflamed and sore, like you wake up puffy, your eyes are puffy, you're, you know, around this part of your face feels like swollen, right? You're not like define this, but you're more like just puffy face. You're like, well, I'm not fat, I just look puffy. Well, that's inflammation in your body. Your fingers get swollen, right? Especially in the morning. You can't, like, how strong are you in the morning? Do you wake up and you feel like you can do things, or it's just like everything feels heavy? That's inflammation for you. Another thing, obviously, when our hormones get dysregulated during glycation, that causes even more aging. So glycation is basically a process. We are born white on the inside, and slowly but surely, like a toast, we're toasting. But there's certain things that speed up this process of toasting, and these are things that cause glycation. And you can screenshot it, but these are the things that kind of like speed up glycation. And fun fact, not so fun for us, but the proteins in skin that are most prone to glycation are the same ones that make us look youthful, which is collagen and elastin. So the first proteins that get attacked when we have a glycation and the glucose spike are actually collagen and elastin. So this is really, really important to keep our sugar in check, because this will make us seem much older than we do. And this is, you know, this isn't just diet, it's also not getting enough sleep, not getting enough or too little or too much exercise, stress, Not brushing or flossing your teeth can impact glycation and glucose spikes, smoking and dehydration. You can eat them right after each other. No, wait, yes, correct. This is your choice, one day or day one. Join us if you want, and I want to explain to you how I approach aging, and you can just get it. So we talk about aging as a disease, health span, lifespan, because we talk about lifespan, but who wants a life and then not be healthy? Who wants a life without play? Like, what's the point? So we talk about play span and lifespan and health span. That's equally as important as a lifespan. We talk about anti-aging diet and how to navigate through it, anti-aging lifestyle. And I think one big change that we have done for the course recently is way more homework, in a good way, like really inspiring, helping you navigate and implement those changes, as well as we added an expert. So have anyone seen Jennifer Lopez? And you're like, how the fuck is she 52? It cannot be that she doesn't eat sugar. Let's be honest. Yeah, we love Jennifer Lopez, but let's be honest. You might be like, Aggie, I get that glycation is bad, but there's no way that Jennifer Lopez just, eats food in the right order and looks like this at 52. We know that's not true. And so 54, exactly. So through my LA friends, I was able to connect with a doctor. Obviously, I can't say she works with Jennifer Lopez, but she works with celebrities. And I was like, because I met another celebrity who looked great. I'm like, you have to tell me the secret. And it's like, oh, Dr. Candace. I'm like, okay. So Dr. Candace, I was like, could you please explain to me, what do people do to reverse their biological age? And she's like, yeah, no worries. So she came on the challenge and we added that interview, explaining. We talk a lot about supplements, of what supplements to take to reverse age, and M&M was like the basic one, but we jump into detail. We talk about specific peptides and how to take them. I have bought them for my mom because not only they extend your life by 30%, apparently, they extend your telomeres, they also extend fertility. So I might be, it's in this challenge. So yes, that's the interview in this challenge, is with Dr. Candace. You have access for this challenge forever. This is just it's much smaller. It's not as fit as fuck. It's like a 7-day warm up just to get to my teaching style and see what we're all about. We have 7 daily videos. It's actually more, but let's just say it's 7. We have a workout plan, a meal plan, hypnotherapies. And these are really something that I'm very proud of, because we have a professional hypnotherapist to help you rebuild your relationship with aging, which is something for you to keep listening to and undo the mind fuck that we basically have as women, that we're aging. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm 40 years old and blah, blah, blah. Like, guys, and this is like, I want to go full screen for this. These are some of our guests. So Sam, Vanessa, she helps women with fertility. Our whole conversation was about how to extend fertility and help women. She has an incredible track record in LA. And then this is the NJ plan. These are the PDFs, little support for you. This is our price, $222. But obviously as a webinar, it's $179 with the code youth. So that's it. But I want to quickly just go full screen for a second. I don't know how to do it. I want to look in the eye and I can't see. Can you see me here a little bit, please? Yeah, okay, perfect. I just want to say, like, regardless of what you decide to do, you just spend 30 minutes with me just listening. Some of you felt the need to feel like there was something you need to do about your aging. And I think it comes from 2 things. From one is the pressure of the society telling you could always look younger. And the second one is just like feeling like there should be more energy at your age. You should be 35 and thriving, and maybe perhaps you're tired or you feel like you're struggling or you're exhausting, and there should be a better way. And so in both things, you're correct. I just want to say there is a way of your mindset when you're no longer jealous of other women that are younger. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I would look like a 20-year-old woman. And between you and I had this feeling that like, oh, I won't be that anymore. Like I had this like feeling of stress and kind of like jealousy or something like, wow, like she's so young. She's like has that youthful energy, but I wasn't craving not having wrinkles, so I would put Botox. I was like, okay, like I want to look like her. But what I didn't realize, it's not that she didn't have wrinkles, it was her life force. But now I realized that a lot of young women don't even have that life force. And the life force is something that you can rebuild through having a super healthy diet, through supportive supplements, having that energy, and knowing, having a purpose and navigating through certain things. So you know how to take care of yourself, right? And how to be here for the longest, most beautiful play span, how to play, how to go back to the you that's playful and joyful and light up every room and feels like whatever your age is, you feel fantastic about it, right? And it really is just a number. And it's really, really hard to get to that point, to really be able to say that without feeling like you're being just, saying bullshit. But I think you can get there. Does something like over supplementing really exist? To be honest, I don't know. I don't know a single person that, obviously you can have an allergic reaction to an ingredient of a supplement, but at the end of the day, I take 30, 40 supplements a day. Dave Asprey takes 80. There's some people that take 200 pills. Is that the way to go? No. But I have to say that as I was getting ready before the challenge, when I was diving into certain like anti-aging, if there is no supplements I take, like even Biohacking Bestie, I don't always take Unbloat Me. I don't always take chill pill when I'm like relaxed. I don't always take Drop It Like It's Hot for metabolism, but like a lot of the things that I share with you in the challenge of exact supplements for anti-aging, I do take every day. If there's like 5 supplements I take, because I just have seen the difference and the energy that they give me. I started to learn about it since, and is there going to be an email recording? Yes. Yeah, it's so funny. So people never question taking cookies, but supplements, they question it. It's really, really interesting. I honestly I don't know if you saw my stories today when I just showed you the before and after of my digestive enzymes, and I'm actually shocked. And to be honest, I was like recording it and I was like, maybe this is not going to work, but if I could, I'll record it. And I'm just shocked about how you can literally test when you buy a supplement and see if it's legit or not. I put a piece of bread in here and this completely dissolved into a gooey. I'll show you, sorry, this stuff has bread. So not everything is what they say, but some things actually are legit. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the questions. I just start video new share. No, I don't know. Oh, how do I go back to the screen? Pause share. Okay, there you go. So, question: how is this different? How is that different in Fit as Fuck? Oh, guys, really important. I know I promised you the discount for supplements. The code is also youth for 20% off. And if you wait till tomorrow, I just want to make sure you get the cheap shipping. So if the shipping is expensive, just wait because we're updating the rate. So it's going to be cheap tomorrow. How much soy do you recommend? I don't recommend soy, to be honest. It's what you have to understand about soy, unless it's organic, non-GMO, blah, 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 blah. Soy acts as it mimics estrogen in your body. When you have too much estrogen, and a lot of like products out there do, when you have too much estrogen, you accumulate fat around your hips. You have gut issues. Like it's really not a good position to be in. A lot of issues for women these days is actually from having too much estrogen, not enough progesterone. Um, what milk alternative do you recommend when you shouldn't eat dairy? You can have raw milk or coconut milk. That would be my two favorite. When it comes to pregnancy, you have to ask your doctor, because I'm not qualified to give any advice to pregnant women breastfeeding. Raw milk, yes, raw milk is beautiful, full of enzymes. Someone said, I have a diagnosed thyroid issue, and since Fitfac, I think it's completely gone. Well, that would make a lot of sense because it's how it works. Do you suggest good protein sources for plant-based people? Hemp is your best option, hands down. I was actually doing a lot of research for my book on this, and hemp is your best option. What is the difference between Fitfac? Is it worth it? There is obviously some information overlap, but anti-aging is really committed to anti-aging. Fitfac is, I'd say, weight loss and introduction to biohacking. Anti-aging is anti-aging. So if you're curious about understanding biological age and how things work, and that aging isn't just something that you have a tight face. We talk about different procedures you can do to your face, talk about my Morpheus, etc., etc. So yes, it's like a combo of both, but also it's just like a lot of like coaching of just, I don't know, I personally really love it because I was able to bring the coaching that I do, for example, Frack the Struggle, and like combine it with biohacking, which for me was really special and like motivating. Paula, are you looking for best assistant in LA? Perfect. Can you DM me? I am looking for assistant in LA, so please let me know. Oh my God, guys, I was looking even at the wrong. How to test estrogen and manage it. There's a Dutch test. See if your doctor can do a Dutch test. Any person from Romania that would like to order. I wouldn't bulk order supplements because sometimes when the value is too high, they flag it by custom. So it probably shipping would be $10 by tomorrow, hopefully. How do you know what supplements to take? Depends what you really need. Like some of the supplements most of us are deficient in, like you can definitely have MCT, which is really good for ketones. Do you guys know what ketones are and fat adaptation, or do you want me to quickly explain? Let me know. Explain. Okay, so you as a, I don't know how to, I don't want to resume share. I just want to go full screen on you. No, I don't want to resume share. Stop share. Okay, there I am. Oh my God, perfect. So your body is like a house, but like an old house, like in a good way. So you're running it, and you need fire to run the house. So at the bottom of the house, there's a little furnace. And for you to have energy, the body's smart, and it's like, oh, I'm going to have quick energy and just put twigs, like little bits of wood. And that's glucose, that's sugar, and that's carbs. That's quick energy, everything. And body loves it because it's quick and easy and light and whatever. But when you run out of this, of the twigs, the body's like, okay, I'm going to get hungry. I'm going to send, the hunger hormone, and just make sure that she's going to have more carbs, right? And this is when you get hungry and you immediately go and eat because you're feeling it. And it's like, okay, I got more twigs, da 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 da. And that's probably how 90% of women live. But if you wait it out and you force your body to be hungry for a little longer, for like 17 hours, like fasting, and your body's like, fuck, I have no more twigs. I need to go outside and find some logs. I know where they are, but they're stored in our fat tissues. And these logs are basically what we call fat adaptation. So these are when we use fat for energy, right? That's basically ketones, right? So MCT always helps the production of ketones. And so when you body is like able to burn the logs for energy, it's like, oh wow, I have this stable, beautiful energy. It's all fantastic. So then all the keto people were like, okay, women need to go on keto. This is so much better for energy. But prolonged keto for women isn't actually that good, the logs. And what I've learned through biohacking is that it's not about sticking to twigs or to, to logs. It's about being able to switch between those two metabolisms. We have two metabolisms. One is energy from fat, the other one energy from sugar. And if you can switch between those two through fasting and diet and knowing how to have your dinner, so it's like lower on carbs, so you can enter the fat adaptation faster, that's basically the goal. Is there a collagen product that you recommend? Biohacking Bestie coming soon. So that's best one that's going to be out there. Sorry guys, there's so many questions. If you bought the challenge before, you will get updated. So with anti-aging, every time you buy, lifetime access to the challenge, every time you put any updates, whatnot, like we just now added 20 pages of homework, you just get that included. We added Dr. Candace. I didn't have to, I could just release it as a separate course, but I added to existing students. So yes, why do you break fast with avocado? Great question. So when you don't eat for a very long time, your body's like, oh, I can't wait. So it's very insulin sensitive, right? So it's like anything you take, it's like, oh, wow, like this is new. So if you start with anything that has too many carbs, it's going to give you a glucose spike. That's why we are so careful with breakfast. I always say have savory breakfast, because your body is just very sensitive in the morning. But if you start with fat and protein, that avocado it's just like very gently relaxes your body that everything's okay. It's like the best way to break a fast. High fat does not spike insulin, correct. Do you have a supplement that was fertility? We will have one very, very soon, just in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned. Endometriosis, highly recommend work by Dr. Elisaveti, because she, obviously, I can't tell you I have experience healing endometriosis, but I know it's all hormone related and glucose related. And yeah, it's just living according to your cycle will has healed it for other women. I'm not going to say it's going to heal it for you, because you have to see what's true for you, but it has healed it for other women. Thoughts on charcoal supplement with other supplements, they cancel it out, so no point whatsoever. Charcoal is good when you eat something not very healthy, or every now and then if you feel like you need detoxifying. But at the end of the day, it's going to cancel all the vitamins and minerals. I wanted to know about how long between when you eat avocado and then eat carbs. You don't have, ideally we don't want to have carbs for breakfast, right? So when we break our fast with the avocado, we want to make sure that we want to have some protein, some meats, right? And just like power through. If you can nail down your breakfast, you will have so much less glucose spikes. And I know it's hard originally, but it's so worth it. Does drinking veggies count as veggies before a savory meal? I am not a big fan of drinking calories, especially veggies, for multiple reasons. Number one, fiber is great. Number two, we as women need to chew more to develop our muscles here. It gives us a much nicer, like higher cheekbones, a nicer definition. And when we constantly eat soft food, because everything's fucking processed and we never bite food, then it's not good for us. Gives us much of a glucose spike. It is proven. There are a lot of studies that when we drink our calories, we drink so much more, and we can't gauge how full we are. So I'm not a fan. Sorry, I need to stop this. Thoughts on massages for anti-aging? Yes, I think it's great. You just bought the course, so excited. I'm a tired mom who needs energy. Oh, I'm so excited for you. And I really know that it's something that we, energy is not given, is produced, and you are able to just go back to lots of energy. And dang, I don't even drink coffee anymore. This is someone who had 4 or 5 coffees. I don't even have coffee anymore because I just really Like I have it, I'm like, oh, I don't really need that stimulation. I'm already so awake, and that's such a beautiful place to be. Bulletproof coffee is great. I love it. But again, if you don't drink coffee, like I stopped drinking bulletproof coffee after drinking it for years, because I don't need a coffee and I start my day with tea. Eating in the right order. Okay, let me go back to the slides. Oh, I don't even know how to do it. Oh my God, why am I so... Oh, there you go. Back to this. Do you need to screenshot it? If someone missed it, please screenshot it if you need to. That's really, really important for us. Our fiber, the thing in veggies that kind of like holds everything together, slows down our digestion. When we slow down digestion, it helps us with the glucose spike. Do you know Ozempic, right? So the drug very popular in the US that makes you not hungry anymore. It slows down your transit. So literally you can do it for fiber. If you eat enough fiber, it's gonna work like Ozempic. Do you drop it like it's hot in the morning while fasting? Yes. So for example, David Sinclair, who's like one of the biggest expert in anti-aging, he takes his morning supplement with the drop of olive oil so that it doesn't upset your stomach and doesn't really break your fast, if that helps. So anything else except veggies that count as fiber? No, but you have so many veggies to choose from. So I think it's beautiful that, you know, aiming at 200 veggies a month is the goal. And the less glucose spikes you have, the more you like veggies, because if you're addicted to sugar, you don't like veggies. How much has to go? You don't have to wait at all. Honestly, just have veggies first, eat for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, take a deep breath, start with protein and fats, and you're going to be good. It's not like I'm eating this, I'm eating that. It's like 40 minutes later. No, you don't have to. Someone says, underactive thyroid, PCOS, bloating, and inflammation. So much advice, right? Everything we do with biohacking is reducing inflammation. PCOS, diabetes of the ovaries, because your glucose, PCOS is literally your glucose is out of whack. Bloating, gut, so managing your glucose, managing your gut, and that will definitely help your thyroid as well. I'm putting stuff together for you guys to kind of like explain more about thyroid. So just bear with me a couple of weeks. We're just getting you some more resources. How do you biohack your breast growth? That's for Fitness Fact. That's if you did Fitness Fact, you saw that interview. Would you recommend biohacking course for reactive arthritis? That is also a question to your doctor, not me. How do you start biohacking if I'm a totally blue? Oh, great question. Start with one of our courses. I think whether it's anti-aging one or Fitness Fact, both are just a really good introduction of what biohacking is. So it's everything, because there's a lot of people. There's glucose goddess, there's Dave Asprey, there's Dr. Mindy, who's like, wow. Dr. Saviti, there's so many experts out there, but what I think is unique about our challenge is that we bring all of them together, because one talks about glucose, one talks about fasting, the other one about hormones, the other one about diet, and none of them actually puts it all together. And we're like, okay, why don't we just like put it all in one place? And that's basically what it is. Fatigue. Well, there's no supplement for fatigue, because why you're fatigued, right? Your mitochondria, you have the powerhouse of your cells is tired, right? So yes, there are supplements in this anti-aging challenge that we support the mitochondria and help you feel better. But the question is like, what's the life force energy? Why are you tired? Do you have a purpose? Like, what's biologically up there that you're fatigued, right? Terry said, Fitness Fact is my holy grail for biohacking. That is literally the sweetest review. Thank you so much. What's the number one tip for weight loss? It really depends. It's really hard because what people don't really understand, that we put on weight for different reasons. I might put on weight because of my gut. You can put on weight because of your hormones. Someone else because of their glucose. Someone else, it's emotional and it's a lot of trauma. And we hold on to fat because it's how we cope. Yes, I do use red light. Is the fittest fuck available right now? Technically, it's not. But the website's there. You can find it, thickestfat.co. You can buy it. That's unofficial. Officially, we're closed till November. I love salt. Salt is super important. Minerals are super important. They're building blocks. And I think it's just like we were brainwashed to think of food and digestion, everything in terms of calories and macros, protein, whatever, instead of like minerals, nutrient density, how it's affecting our hormones. You and I know already that it's not about the calories. It's about how healthy our hormones are and how they can manage. Jacob eats 4,000 calories a day and he's skinny as hell. Why? Because his gut is healthy. His hormones are good, right? So it's like all these things make sense. Our biohacking blue glasses are the same as glasses with blue light filter. Yes, they're just branded differently, but I highly recommend them 100%. Yes, so we do talk about fertility in this course quite a bit, and how, for example, freezing an egg is bad for you and being on a pill. But once we can do a hormone challenge soon, hopefully, where we can talk even more. So thank you so much for attending. Tips to reduce cellulite. Listen to my stories. I'll do stories today about it. Love you so much. And I'm excited. Thank you so much for checking out. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to answer all of your questions. They come up so fast that I'm like getting outside literally. But anyways, I love you so much and thank you for joining. This meant the world. Mwah, big hug. Remember, life force energy, and I love you so much. And let's hang on stories.